All right, welcome back to the American Dream. Imagine building a company that was bought by Google. Our next guest, Brett Crosby, the co-founder and COO of PeerStreet, did exactly that. Now he's going to come on the show and talk about the secondary market of real estate. Brett, thanks for coming on the show.
Great to be here, Craig. Thanks for having me.
So real quick, for those who don't know, share your background.
Yeah, so I'm co-founder and COO of PeerStreet right now. Before this, I was at Google for about 10 years. And the way I got to Google is I started a company down there in San Diego called Urchin Software Corporation. It was very early in the web analytics space. We built that up. Google acquired us in 2005. And we moved to Google Corporate and launched Google Analytics. So that Urchin was the predecessor to Google Analytics, and then stayed on at Google for 10 years doing a number of things.
How'd you like Google?
This business now. Oh, Google's fantastic. It was such a great place to work. And in fact, I've taken a lot of the cultural tips that I learned there and a lot of the lessons and applied them to this business, PeerStreet.
So tell us a little bit about PeerStreet. Now, what you guys do is you're basically a platform investing in real estate-backed loans, correct?
That's correct.
So explain what that means to those who don't know.
Sure. So a lot of people know they can invest in real estate, but they don't know that they can actually invest in the debt side or the mortgage side of real estate. And the reason for that is that it wasn't readily available to most people until now. Basically, what my co-founder and I saw is an asset class that we thought was this great asset class. First position liens on real estate that most people just had no access to. And we thought if we built a platform that was a secondary market for lenders and an investment platform for investors, we could connect the two and create something really special. And that's what we've done.
How safe of an investment is this? I think a lot of people, when they think about real estate investing in the secondary market and the product of loans, you can't help but think about 2008 and subprime. What confidence do you have in that market? Is it a safe investment? What are the risks?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, any investment is going to have some sort of risk, right? But 2008 is always on our minds. One of our investors is Michael Burry. He was played by Christian Bale in The Big Short. And so we are always thinking about the downside risk. We've done over $700 million in investments through the platform now over the past few years. Every single loan that comes on the platform, we stress test. And because of all that stress test and underwriting and going through all of it to make sure that it's something we want to bring on the platform, we've had zero losses. Nobody's lost a single dollar investing on the platform.
Well, certainly a very different world now than it was in 2008. Interesting that you referenced The Big Short. There's a great movie that illustrates. I'm sure a lot of people have seen that. Of course, on a show called The American Dream, we got to ask you, how does this empower communities? How does this empower the American dream?
You know, I'm a big believer in the American dream. I'm living the American dream. And by the way, I love what you're doing here with the show, the whole thing. And so, look, everyone out there, first of all, if you have a little bit of money to invest, it's harder and harder to get yield on that investment. So to make money passively. Real estate debt is a great place to do that. These are all first position liens on real estate, and it's backed by the underlying real estate. So if the borrower stops paying, we can foreclose on it. And we've had to do that in a few cases, but investors still made all of their principal back.
Well, it's a lot safer in an appreciating housing market versus subprime when everything was crashing. Those foreclosures turned into a lot of losses, I would imagine. Real quick, since I got you here, what do you think of the future of housing? How do you think it turns out in 2018?
In 2018, I think the future of housing is going to continue to grow. I think it's look, the age of the U.S. housing stock is as old as it's ever been. The average house is over 40 years old in the United States. When people go in and fix those houses, which is what our borrowers typically do, they buy houses that are kind of the crummy ones on your block. They'll fix them up and then sell them to new owners. That's a very important part of the cycle, and it really helps build the American dream for everyone. So we're big believers in the future of it, as long as you do things safely, and that's what we're here trying to do.
Bullish on housing. Brett, thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Craig.
All right, more of the American Dream coming up next.